part of the Maluku reconciliation process. I'm doing as a mediator also, as a negotiator, but also as a researcher. It is like my research and also my my experiences. That's why maybe much more to share the experience, my experience and my perspective. But this is the model, I think, track 2 or multi-track. It is the, we call sometimes also movement from the below, right? Baku movement for peace initiative in Maluku. Just to give you some context for the Maluku conflict and also Maluku province. It is the map of the Maluku. But you know, before it was divided into province, it was divided in that conflict situation also after 4 months of conflict. It is in March. But Maluku is the largest province in Indonesia in the number of Muslim and this Christian. That's why in conflict, in the balance situation like this, they can create conflict for the long time because of the balancing of power like this. This is the demographic of Maluku. Yeah, near of Papua also we can see that the Maluku. And then we can see that the causality, Lippi has recorded some around 5,000 people was dying in that conflict, and 500,000 people become IDPs, internally displaced person. Until now, until 20 years, still we have the IDPs in Jakarta, Yogyakarta. It is the effect of the Maluku conflict until now. Also, 18% infrastructure was damaged in the situation. This is the real number of the causality of the Maluku conflict. And for my definitions is intractable. I think this analog from protracted and also intractable conflict it is the same, I think. But Koloman giving some definition for the intractable conflict, like the very violent clashes, high intensity, totally of involvement, and also involvement all level in social layer. We can see that in conflict in Maluku, even though it is children, the woman, the old people, and also, of course, the warrior involved in conflict. It's quite different in Aceh. In Aceh, is the warrior involved in the conflict, but in Maluku, totally involvement. The people are totally involvement, deep humiliation, and also very emotional conflict process. This is the definition for the intractable conflict from the Coleman. It is clearly seen in Maluku conflict. All of the people become the victim and also the perpetrator. It is it is very important. All of the people become the victim, but also the perpetrator for the conflict. And in the conflict of Maluku, the people were totally divided and segregated into Muslim and into the Christian. It is the one of the unbelievable situation in Indonesia for in Maluku. All of the matter it was divided, even though the building, even though the airport, the port, the speedboat or anything was divided, become it is for the Muslim side and this is the Christian side. The causes of Maluku conflict, first one is we call the divide et impera policy implemented by the Dutch. At the time, the Dutch supported the Christian group, and the Muslim group become the marginal in that situation. But after the independence, the Muslim become more more advantage than the Christian. This is the divide et impera policy in the colonial era. But also we can see that the traditional mechanism in Pelagandong to establish the mindful of peaceful condition. I make this Pelagandong principle, Pelagandong mechanism. It is also, the Pelagandong also was created in after Banda War and also after the Kapaha War. And then the third causes is also in the independent era, the Christian also loss of privilege and advantages after, special in the Suharto era. And then in 1999 also, Indonesia and Maluku still in the economic crisis and the political crisis because this is the Reformation era. And in the political crisis also, we call the security crisis because of the military was divided with the police, and then policemen and military also involved in conflict in Maluku. And the last is the trigger factor is the rise of the local provocator. The rise of local provocator is very important because at the time we can see that later. It is the sum of the causes of the Maluku conflict. And then we can see we have to kind of the effort to find the solution, to find the reconciliation, also peace building. The government effort, also in the grassroots effort. The grassroots effort is the Baku movement. We can see all of the government effort. They sending the troop. They create the civil emergency. Also, they conducting the Malino Congress for the reconciliation, but still elitists of the effort. And also we have the civil society or the grassroots level. This is more bottom up or second track or multi-track and from people to people reconciliation. This is the two kind effort for reconciliation in Maluku. But I'm more focused on the Baku movement. This is after the process, I found it some route for reconciliation. We can see that in the first time the intractable conflict, the totally divided between the community. And the root of the reconciliation and the peace process is look like jumping the process. You can see that from intractable conflict, I'm jumping the process to togetherness first or winners first. It look like the jumping process. But formally, scientifically and also normally in the reconciliation process and the peace building process, we should talking about the forgiveness, or justice, togetherness first. It is our root in the reconciliation. This root is very important because it looks like jumping the process. We make the bakubae, bakubae, because bakubae means the Baku is reciprocal, bae is to be kind of other. Saling baik in Indonesia, but to be kind of other, it is the bakubae means that. Because I made this word because all of the people in Maluku was rejected the word of peace. They even though the both Christian and Muslim rejected the word of peace. They say that the word of peace is look like the win and lose situation. Who is the win and who is the lose in that conflict? In that conflict, all of the people in Maluku become the victim, become the perpetrator. And it is the situation. That's why they reject the word of peace. And then why I make the word of bakubai. The meaning is the same. The meaning is the peace. But I made the bakubai is taken from the local. In Maluku, if the children is in the quarreling or fight each other, and in the process of making peace, they can say the chik bakubai like this. This is our symbol, chik bakubai. This one is the symbol in Maluku for peace process. In all of the bakubai process, a lot of discussion about collective memory, about the history. We are talking also about concept of togetherness, reject the prejudice, also recategorization, find the new identity. For the 3 years of the bakubai process, this is the 10 activities that we have. It takes 3 years process, starting with the action research and the combatant and victim workshop for 3 times, peace campaign, public polling, stakeholders workshop, conducting the neutral zone and the market, consolidation of the small group, lobby process, bakubai high meeting, and also the institutionalization of the process. This is the all of the process of the bakubai. We can see that from the process, I'm conducting 19 times of workshop for the reconciliation and peace building process. The participant was combatant, displaced person, journalists, lawyers, religious leader, intellectual, university student, indigenous people, leader of military and also police officer. All of this group was divided, become the Christian and the Muslim. Even though the lawyer, it is the most lawyer, church lawyer. Even though the journalist, this is the Islam journalist, Christian journalist, totally divided. That's why I'm conducting the workshop for all of this group. It is 19 times. Also campaign, peace campaign for the Muslim and the Christian community. Like in Jakarta, Surabaya, Makassar, Palu, Manado, Brazil, Amsterdam, and also the Utrecht in the Netherlands. because this is the all of these IDPs of Maluku, also the concentrate of the Maluku people. Around 60,000 Maluku people stay in the Netherlands. That's why also we held the peace campaign there in the Brussels, in the Amsterdam, also in Makassar, Maluku. And we're conducting also the polling twice for 11,000 respondents for the polling. Also create the Baku Bay Legal Aid Institute, Maluku Media Center for the journalists, and also Council of Maluku Traditional Leaders. They still exist until now, after 20 years. This is in the workshop. The first, I'm always try to explore the value obtained the peace. Like I'm still arising two research questions for all of the workshop. Yeah, like the first one is quite interested research question. Yeah, what is the purpose of the religion? It is to kill each other. It is the provocative question for all of the people in Maluku. What is the purpose of the religion? Because in Maluku, the religion, because of the religion, the people kill each other. And then I'm arising the question of the purpose of the religion. The second also, why mosques and also the church become places to order the slaughter of other humans. It is also the second question, just to explore about the value, the attitude. And the second question is, what is the source of conflict, the actor, also the actor. Like before, it is the mapping of conflict. The third question is strength, weaknesses, and opportunity treat in the reconciliation effort, and also the action plan for the reconciliation. This is four important question for us in the Baku Bay process. Also, we the peace campaign and the neutral zone. We have also Pasar Baku Bay, the creation of Maluku Media Center for journalists, Tifa Dame for the NGOs, and for the lawyers, we create also Legal Aids Foundation and Latupati Maluku Assembly, and the Maluku meeting and declaration of the end of the conflict in Maluku. In our reconciliation, in the movement from below, I think some point of view is very important in the second track or the multi-track. The first, special in the religion conflict. We try to reconstructing the memory of past togetherness is important. And then because of in Maluku, so many we call the collective memory distortion between the relationship between the Muslim and the Christian on the past. So many distortion of the history. That's why we try to reconstructing the memory of past togetherness, because this is important to arranging the future. We should start from the clear memory of the past about the truth of the past, and we can create the future. Of course, the developing the trust to minimizing the prejudice, and also the empathy. And the last is we call the feeling of the same faith grows, Torang Basodara and Venus after that. This is the kind of the point that we have from the Bakubai process, from the 10 stages of the Bakubai. Then I think until now in the local level, the Latubati Assembly is still become the important institution to guarantee, to give the guarantee for the peaceful situation in Ambon. Also in the national level, we have the legislation, the regulation now for conflict resolution, especially for social conflict. We push the creation of the national committee, but still in the process until now. But in the local and also the regulation, we have right now to prevent the ethnic, the religion and ethnic conflict like in Maluku. Peace building process in Maluku. It is the second track process. It is the multi-track process, movement from below. With the local mechanism, with the local word. When they invite me to do as a mediator, when also at the first time I'm going to Maluku in April 2000, you know, at the same time around 6,000 jihad warrior from Java Island coming to Maluku at the same time with me. They go by cruises, and then you know, it is around 6,000 jihad warrior. Unbelievable. It is the Javanese people. They want to involve in conflict in Maluku at the time. It is in April 2000. And also it is in April also, it is the escalation is in the highest escalation because of the Laskar Jihad coming, and then also so many weapons coming from all over the world in Maluku. And then I'm in the action research, it takes 23 days. I try to meet with the Muslim side, with this Christian side. At that time, nobody from Jakarta, from the government official also can coming to Ambon at that time in April. Even though the military commander still all of divided between the Muslim and the Christian side. And also when I'm coming in the airport, I should choose because we have two ways. It is the Christian way or Muslim way. If it is normally as a Muslim, if I'm going to the Christian side, and of course somebody can kill me totally in that situation. But I choose the Christian way. I'm going to the side of the Christian at the first time to meet the Christian group and something like that. But like the Ministry of the Defense, Ministry of the Politics, or something like that, sometimes they have the meeting just only in the airport. And at that time also 24 battalion from all over Indonesia coming in Maluku. But conflict still there. No one can stop that conflict in that situation. That's why the mapping is important. I try to find the actor and also the source of conflict. And then I'm starting with the combatant first, with the combatant. With the combatant, it takes 3 times of the meeting. And then because I don't have a mandate at that time as a mediator, I am people from the university. That's why I'm conducting polling. Polling is important to find my mandate. The first one, I'm polling for 3,000. Can we continue this Bakubai process or not? It is the question in the polling. They say 3,000 people in Maluku say, okay, continue this process, but carefully. And also, please involve of the traditional leader and religion leaders. After 6 from Muslim, 6 from Christian, I add the participant for Bakubai become 20 and 20. I'm polling again and become 50 and 50. It is in the combatant side. And then after that, we conducting the peace campaign and open this process. But when we open the process, half of our participant was disappeared because they, it is, we call that all of the people who involved with the Bakubai process is betrayal. The process is become the betrayal. Somebody can hanging all of the people who involved with the Bakubai process because it is still in the conflict process. That's why I'm continue with the group of the moderate group like mosque lawyer and also the church lawyer, journalist Christian, journalist Muslim, religious leader from Christian and from Muslim. This is all of the process. After 3 years, and then we can conducting the peace building process or the Bakubai process, and we say that to peace in Maluku and stop all of the violence. But you know, all of the effort of the government, track 1 or elite process, it doesn't work. It's not work. It's not work. Yeah. Just hit and run process. They're sending the troop, they're sending the military, but conflict is getting worse, getting worse. They're conducting the meeting. They're conducting also the regulations. That's why the effort from below is very important in the religion or the ethnic conflict like in Maluku. It is my point for the bottom-up process and also for the result of the elite. At the time, elite become part of the problem for all of the conflict in Maluku. We are in Indonesia know exactly about our situation. Yeah, it is. I think the worst situation in 1999. It is in conflict Maluku. When I'm I'm share my experience there. Of course, because of my name, Ichsan Malik, and then everybody can identify me as the Muslim side, That's why as a strategy at the first time, because it is very important for the peace building process. That's why at the first time, I'm going to the Christian side at the first time. You know, it is very dangerous situation because the group, they follow me in the airport. Also, they cannot inform, even though they are Christian, because somebody can hang in this, because, and then also identify as a Judas. Why? They invite the Muslim like me, take the Muslim inside to the Christian area. It's danger for us. That's why I'm coming alone to meet the priests, to meet the religion leaders, to meet also the warriors at the first time. It is very important for me. Yeah? Of course, intimidation, special from the, we call the jihad warrior, because for the Muslim side, special in the mosque of the, from the mosque and also from the radio. They have the radio, they have the television. It look like in Rwanda in that situation. Yeah, the radio, the television provoke all of the people to going to the war, going to the conflict situation. Also the intimidation, but also I try to zigzag at that time, with the Christian group and going to the Muslim group and the Christian group again and something like that. The zigzag process is very important to also the building trust. But I know, even though until 2 years, still the Christian group didn't trust me at all. Of course, something like, because in that situation, it's not so easy, right, to building trust. But it's okay. That's why the process is very, 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 very carefully processed. This is also sometimes it is very secret process, because we cannot open this process. All of the who involved with the Baku, it is the betrayal station. It is become the Judas, or it is become the pengkhianat, we call it in the Muslim side. It's very dangerous situation. Also for the Malino, even though it is the elite and the government effort, the use of Eli, it is the head of delegation Muslim still become IDPs until now in Jakarta. They cannot going back to Ambon, the head of delegation of Malino, even though it is the formal process. It is just to give some this is the real situation there. And then for us, the trust, building trust, also building legitimation, create the mandate with the polling, public polling, with the open process, and also for the, I call the humanity approach, we call the pro bono approach, because all of the people in Maluku knowing that I is a volunteer for this process. I'm going to Maluku not in the name of the project. I'm going there because they invite me as a scholar to do this. That's why all of the process also pro bono for 3.5 years. I think the good strategy in that process, in the Maluku process. And then also I'm learning from the local language. They reject all the word of peace, the word of peace. That's why also I'm finally I'm finding we call the phenomena of competitive victimhood. Even though the Christian and the Muslim, they say they are the victim, and they compete as a victim. They have it look like have a competition become a victim. That's why but that is the problem, because on the peace building process, we should compete as a winner for the future, not compete as the victims. All of the people, even though Muslim and Christian, become the victim. Even though that starting of the conflict, it is in the era of Idul Fitri, but all of this group become the victim, also become the perpetrator. That's why we reject about the word of peace, because this is look like win and lose. Who is the win? Who is the lose? Because the word of peace is look like somebody become the winner and somebody become the loser. And also I make the local wisdom and pelagandong. It's quite interesting. In the era of the Kapaha War, in the era also Hongi Tokhtan era, if they have the conflict between the Muslim village and the Christian village, it is common. The Muslim village and the Christian village at the time, have a conflict. If no one become the winner in that conflict between the Christian village and the Muslim village, and then they jumping to create the brotherhood. The brotherhood we call the Pela. Pela is the brotherhood, meaning it is the brotherhood between the Christian and the Muslim side. Yeah, Pela, especially for the Pela Karas. We call Pela Karas or Pelatoni by blood. They make the brotherhood by blood. It is because of the conflict. The solution is become the brotherhood, the Pela. It is the local wisdom for me. But the problem, the Pela is just for only 2 or 3 villages. But the problem in that 1999, 1,000 villages are in the conflict. That's why I tried to reinterpretation of the Pelagandong. The Baku effort is the Pelagandong for all of the Maluku, not only for 1 or 2 villages. Even though we have a local wisdom, but we needed new reinterpretation to contextualization the situation. And it's work. I try to reinterpretation again, recontextualization again, the local wisdom. Combination between the strategy and also the new interpretation of the Pela Gandong, and it's helped me to processing the process of the Bakubay.
Talking about Pela Gandong, I think it's useful to note that before the people of Maluku, before they were Christians, before they were Muslims, they were Molukans, they were Maluku, people of Maluku, and they have common commonalities between them. It's just that with the advent of religion, then they became different groups, but basically they are the same people. So it's sometimes necessary to go back and to look at these things, and that's the usefulness of local wisdom. And secondly, about we have been talking that for peace building to happen, and the solution has to come from the soil of the conflict. It is the people themselves that need to be involved in the process of peace building, of building peace in their particular area. And it's also interesting to note that in this diagram, the first things to do is to do the action research and to look at all the situation and do reflections. But the next few steps, combatants and victims workshop, public polling, peace campaign, stakeholders workshop, all these are actually activities that involve the people. They involve the people, the victims, on the ground, telling us, the interveners, what the situation is like and how to, basically go about transform and resolve the situation. So a lot of public consultations. A lot of consultations have been involved, which is a bit different, if the process is a top-down process, because sometimes, people in authorities, they feel that they have the power to come in and to decide and to tell the actors that this is how it's supposed to be done without doing the consultation. But Pak Ichsan, in the peace building process, go down to the field, do these consultations, take the information, and with the inputs of the people on the ground, then he would go about doing his thing. So that's the difference between that peacemaking top level, top down process and this bottom up process.
Is surprised, yeah, why the commando jihad starting in Yogyakarta. And I'm going also to the training ground in the commando jihad. It is in the mountain of the Merapi there. It look like the military camp, the big military camp, because I met also when I'm start in April also, met the Jafar Umar Talib. It is the commander. Jafar Umar Talib is the commander. Meet them, and also this guy. And they say that, are you mad because we start to the war, but you start to stop the conflict, something like that. But it is very important for me to knocking the door. Yeah, we call to knocking the door all of the, even though it is the commando jihad, even though it is the Christian side, it is also in the neutral side. I'm sure the knocking the door, all of the doors. Some intimidation for me in Yogyakarta at the time, but it's okay. It is, for me, it's very important to knocking the door of the jihad warrior. And then for the Baku market, and now you can see that in the near of Hotel Amans in Ambon, it is become the biggest market now, the Baku market, or the Amans market there, because it is hotel. Also, I'm staying in Hotel Amans, Hotel Aman in Ayapati in Ambon, because this is look like the border for the Muslim and the Christian, the border of the Muslim and the Christian. It look like the neutral zone. That's why also our neutral zone there. That's we try to create the market first. We plan like in the geographic map. We also conducting the map for the neutral zone, also for the market. It is 50 meters for the Muslim. It is also 50 meters from the hotel for the Christian, and then we can meet in the front of the hotel. The first time the market just only 1 hour. It is for the first time. The second 2 hours become, and starting when 3 from Muslim side and 3 from the Christian side. But unbelievable, this process is it's beautiful process for me, because after 3 and then become the 20 people from the also involved in the market from the Muslim and from the Christian, and then they start to communicate each other, because in the conflict you cannot make some communication, even though it is your family depend on your religion, because all of the divided of the community. The market is very appropriate way. It's very useful at that time, the market. But we start in the neutral zone first, in the neutral zone, because And then the Christian side and the Muslim side have some the same risk to do to sell. Building trust is started from the market. Yeah, definitely in Maluku. And now the market has become bigger, bigger, bigger until now, after 20 years. This market still there and still become the the meeting point for the Christian and the Muslim each other. In the market, it's more easy than like in the university before, because university also, even though the the provincial government also was divided. It is for the officer of the Christian, it is the officer of the Muslim. You cannot meet each other, even though you are official. The policeman of the Muslim just stay in the forest, and then the Christian police stay in the head. They cannot meet each other as a policeman because of the religion. That's why for me the market is look like interested zone to find reconciliation. In the 1970 also, there are some transmigration program from the central government. But the strong informal migration in Maluku, in Papua, or in other places, we call the BBM, Bugis Buton Makassar. Bugis Buton Makassar, it is coming from the south of Sulawesi and also central Sulawesi. It is very common. These people, we call the BBM, become the informal migration, especially like in Maluku, in Papua. It is the biggest also the migration, not Java, not Bali in all of the Maluku, but it is from Buton, Bugis, Makassar. So many, it's very dominant. And the problem is the Buton, Bugis, Makassar, they do in the market, they do the economic, the moderate economic, subsistence economics. In Papua or in Maluku, it is a domination by the BBM. When the conflict starting in January 1999, around 600 people from BBM was disappeared from Maluku because they are all of the Christian, because the BBM is the Muslim group, but the Christian group is look like destroy all of the market. 300,000 people from BBM is going back to Sulawesi Selatan, to Central Sulawesi at that time for the 2 months. At the first time the conflict, we are still in the economical crisis, political crisis. That's why, and also all of the BBM Buton, Bugis, Makassar is the Muslim. And then, it is the first stages of conflict in Maluku. But the conflict was transformed from the economic, from the Buton, Bugis, Makassar, become the become the religion issues, become the political issues, and all. It is the transformation of social conflict. Two and three village, it is in the Pela Gandong or Pela Karas, it is. But Baku Bai movement, it is Pela Gandong for 1,000 village, Muslim and Christian village. This is new reinterpretation. Yeah, but in the history of Pela, the Pela just only for 2 and 3. But I make some new reinterpretation about the Bakubai movement. It is Pela Gandong for all of the Maluku. That is the new reinterpretation. That's why this process is work. And also, women also involved in the conflict in Maluku. Yeah, we have the Raja, the head of Raja is the woman, some of the head of Raja. Our initiator also the woman. Woman's role is very strong in the conflict of Maluku also. The woman also have the strong influence also in the market, like in the Bakubai market. The role of woman is very important to influence another group. But in Maluku, in the context of Maluku, some of the women become a part of the warrior involved in the conflict. We can see that in the refugee camp, the woman is look like giving strong, they're giving the medicine, and they're giving strong motivation. In the conflict situation in Maluku, women also become the motivator from the conflict. At the first time, we don't want to discuss about the forgiveness or justice. That's why in the root of the Bakubai, we jump the togetherness first. But in the after that, we try to erasing the distortion of the history, because with the collective memory distortion, relationship between the Christian and Muslim, it is impossible to make the forgiveness process, both for Muslim or for the Christian, because they say they are the victim. They compete for us as the victim. That's why it is impossible. We can talking about the forgiveness, but I'm start to do this with the we call the erasing the distortion of the history. The history, we have the sweet history, not painful history. We have the sweet history. So that's why with the history like that, maybe we can forgive our experience in the conflict in 1999. But starting with try to create the new history and erasing the distortion of the history. That is our process in the forgiveness.
Also useful for you, if you want, you can check out the source book. There is a section on the Bakubai movement. You can read about that there, and as well as chapter 6 in the source book. You know, it's about sustaining peace and reconciliation is a very important component. And reconciliation, we know, have many components, including justice, including truth, including mercy. So you can look at chapter 6 on sustaining peace.